I just believe we need to have the same curriculums in all of our schools.
Mayor, how has your job changed from city council president to I mean, literally, the transformation of your job and your life over the last 12 weeks or so? How much different is it than maybe you even believed it was going to be, or knowing and leaving the other job behind?
To be honest with you, is no difference. I've always dealt with department heads. I always dealt with the finance department about priorities that was important to the council. The only difference now is I can control the budget now. You know, I can set priorities for the budget. You know, I can appoint department heads. That's the only difference. The council is a very important part of city government. Nothing actually can happen without the help of the president of the city council and the council members. There could be no TIF, no pilots, no land use ordinance. None of that can work without the council. So it's important for the mayor and the council to have a very good working relationship to move the city forward, because all our priorities are the same. It's just how we get there. And the funding mechanism of how we get there. Because number one is people expect for their trash to be picked up. They expect for their water to be flowing through the faucet. They expect for the police to be protected and served. And these are the agencies, and they demand that their schools be fully funded and operating. So these are essential things that need to happen, and the council and the mayor are on the same page when it comes to that. But it's the other little priorities, like more money for recreation and parks. And I oftentimes tell people, if it wasn't for Recs and Parks, I wouldn't be sitting right here today interviewing with you, because Recs and Parks at one time was flush with cash. Right. And as you know, it was coming from the federal government. Right. The federal government cut all those programs. Instead of the federal government worrying about what's going on around the world, which is important, and helping rebuild in other countries, we need to rebuild the infrastructure of this country right here. And we need to put money back into programs that made people successful. Our federal government is, in my opinion, is out of touch.
Well, if we were serious about infrastructure, Mr. Mayor, we'd be spending millions and millions and putting an awful lot of people to work, right?
Absolutely.
In Baltimore City,
not
changing
just in
lives.
Baltimore City,
right? But I mean,
and cities around
that's
around
all part
the
of
country.
Green New Deal and part of putting our people to work, literally.
Right, getting
we
them
need
to
to
work.
put our people to work.
I'm very respectful of the mayor's time. I know we've got a few more minutes, Nestor, before, and I know you got a bunch of sports stuff.
No. What can I do as a citizen? I mean, I live at the Inner Harbor. I've been a citizen for 16 years. I live here. I love it here. You know, I love it here. I'll always love it here. And I see people leaving here. I do a lot of business, Mayor, in all the counties, and I hear people saying, I don't go down there anymore. I'm not going back for whatever reason. Pick any reason you want, top to bottom. And as a citizen, it bothers me getting off planes here in The Wire instead of hearing about crab cakes and Cal Ripken and Camden. The things
and Hopkins and University, all the great resources, the BMA.
The first thing I hear about now is something bad, and we got to change that narrative.
Well, what I'm doing now is I've asked the CEO of Visit Baltimore to extend a seat on Visit Baltimore to the county exec. And not only to him, to Anne Arundel, because they are the largest surrounding the city of Baltimore, so that they can tell the story of it's safe in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. You very seldom, other than the little incidents that's been happening at the harbor, it's safe downtown.
Mayor, I walked through downtown thousands of miles in the last year. Thousands and thousands of miles.
And my wife and I are in the city all the time.
And if I had an incident or two, sure, we all have.
Damie Hahn comes to work every day in Baltimore City.
I felt that in New York last week. And the thing I see is I've seen cities get better, and I've seen cities get worse because I travel.
We're going to get better.
We need a place that gets better.
We are going to get better in the city of Baltimore. We're going to change the dynamics of this city. We're going to make sure that there's opportunities for young people. We're going to make sure that our police department are out the cars, engaging the community to rebuild that officer-friendly type environment. We're going to send a message to the criminal elements that you're not going to hold the city hostage. 99.9% of the citizens of Baltimore are law-abiding citizens. That 1% that keep us all hostage in our homes and in our communities and in our playgrounds where our kids want to play. We're going to change that narrative, and we're going to make sure that people feel safe in Baltimore. And I believe that people will come back to Baltimore once they feel that they're safe. So what we're doing is I had a meeting with most of the hotelers, and they gave me some positive responses that some people who had a negative impression about Baltimore, that visit Baltimore, say, wow.
I'm hearing more of that this year.
I was impressed with Baltimore. I had no incident. I went
I'm
around
impressed with
to
Baltimore.
various
Through here, I'm
Sit in
impressed.
Fadley's, you hear it from the tourists all the time,
Yeah, they
Mayor.
said I went to cultural institution, and it's not what I seen on the wire. It's not what I hear on the news. I had a great time in Baltimore, and I'm going to go back and let my friends know that Baltimore is a city you should consider visiting. We're no different than any other city.
Right.
There's crime everywhere, okay? But I want to tell you this, that our downtown is safe, okay? And we're going to make all of Baltimore safe, because it's not just about downtown. It's about all the neighborhoods in the city. We're going to make our neighborhoods safe.
Few minutes left. Lightning round. Harbor Place.
Harbor Place, I made the statement that it needs to be torn down. What I meant was it can be rebuilt the same way it used to look, but a better, newer Harbor Place. I want to see it as an entertainment venue. I want to see more local restaurants there, as well as some national chains. I want to see a Ferris wheel there like they have in Prince George County. I want to see that merry-go-round. I think it's back. I think it's still there, but I want to see that improve. I want some recreational activities at the harbor. I want to make sure that those ambassadors, those young ambassadors that used to be down the harbor, that's no longer there because of funding. I'm trying to see if we can revive.
Coming back to
funding. Good job on that.
To revive that, because they have a rapport with the young people, and they really brought a lot of calm down there in Harbor Place. And it disappeared. I didn't know it had disappeared until we had the little melee that was down there. And it wasn't all of the young people. It was just a select
And the
few.
police did a nice job.
And they did a nice job.
And
I
you came
commended
out-
them on that.
You did.
Got criticized about it, but I commended
Well,
them.
You're
You
going to get
also got a
criticized
little-
about everything. It's part of the job.
It's part of the
That's
You
job.
also,
deal.
you also took a little hit, no pun intended, when you came out and said maybe we ought to have some boxing matches. Walk people through that, because at least it was an idea. People who were critical said at least the mayor threw out
I
an
said
idea.
a lot of things. I said we had conflict resolution. We have mediation. I talked about all that stuff, but the news media picked up on when I say instead of using guns to kill each other, let's pick up some gloves and box down at the Civic Center. Right. I know the Civic Center is the Royal Arena, but as long as I've been around, I'm still calling it the Civic Center.
You and I remember
Royal
the
Farms
Civic
is one of
Center.
my biggest sponsors since I sleep. I still call it the Civic Center.
So when the name changes again, and we're trying to negotiate who's going to get naming rights, it's the Civic Center again.
Right. Civic Center.
So my
So it was
thing
just one idea of many.
it's just
to try
one
to
idea.
address the
It wasn't
problem.
anything that I was wedded to.
Right.
I was just making a statement. Instead of shooting each other and killing each other, put on some gloves.
People, let's be
and
creative.
settle your disputes that way. The media took it and spent it the way they want to spend it. You know? But the thing is, I'm spending it the way I want to spend it.
Right.
I would
That's why we
rather
want you
I
on
would
here.
rather for people to have gloves to box than guns to kill.
Amen. Amen. Nestor, you're not going to let the mayor get away without talking about the Preakness. I know you're not.
Oh, I got to get out of here.
Real quick, Preakness, lightning round.
That's what the Stronach said. We got to get out of here, and then we're not going to let that happen.
What are you gonna
this-
do about the
no,
Preakness?
no. Well, I had a great conversation with Belinda Stronach at the Pimlico at the Preakness, and I'm taking a different posture. We're going to sit down and have a discussion, but the discussion have to be centered around the Preakness staying in Baltimore. Law can get what they want, and we can get what we want. When I was there at the Preakness, this is only the second time I've been to the Preakness.
Oh, wow.
The second time, because I wasn't invited by the mayors. I saw a beautiful, beautiful picture of Baltimore. When you looked at the news and it shined down on the infield and the track, it's beautiful. The only thing that I seen that was an eyesore was the clubhouse. And the $480 million price tag that the Stadium Authority put there, I think was outrageous. Because all we need to do is tear down that clubhouse and rebuild that clubhouse. And then any development that's going on around it is between the Stronach group and the developers that they can partner with to maybe build a hotel, some restaurants, some other things. And then to make sure that we program that track for more races or other venues. I mean, it shouldn't set. idle 365 days, we should be programming that thing for a lot of other activities that can go on there.
Well, we have so much more to talk about. You've got a tight schedule. You were gracious enough to come down to the wonderful Fadley's at Lexington Market. We hope you'll come back. Mayor?
I'll come back, but it won't be for an hour.
Okay, you come back as long as you'd like.
You didn't
Come
have any
back.
fun?
I have fun, but I'm rushing to do
I
some
know.
other things.
What do you do to kick back? We always say you work.
He
Mayor,
goes to the Oriole
you work
games. That's what I
23
run
hours a
into.
day. What does Mayor Jack Young do to just say, man, I got to kick back a little bit? What do you do to have fun?
I bake.
You bake. There you go. What do
I
you?
bake.
What's your best baked item?
What are you going to bring me for
I
holiday?
have a lot of best baked things. I make,
Amy, you should get
I make
sell some of the mayor's goods.
I make rum cakes. I
Ooh.
make plain pound cakes. I make my own icing. I have a lemon
Whoa.
icing that I make, and I have a strawberry icing that I make. I make rice puddings. I make pies.
You gonna be like Kiefer?
Haven't had a
You gonna
chance.
be down here at the farmers market?
No, I'm not going to be down there squeezing the citizen with the lemonade.
The lemonade like Kiefer. Mr. Mayor, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Kiefer squeezed a lot of lemonade.
Yeah, he squeezed a
By
lot
the
of
way,
lemonade.
Farmers Market is, I live here. I love it here. It's one of the great things we do every single Sunday, and that's a city thing. And I'd say other than the Fadley's crab cake, a lot of what goes in my belly at home, comes from Farmers Market. Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Keep it going.
And
Mayor Jack Young?
don't forget about Artscape and Light City.
let's go.
And all those things
Give us
that's
30
coming up.
seconds on them. Tell people to come down.
People need to make sure that they stay on the lookout for Artscape that's coming, for Light City that's coming.
Can I say something about Light City?
Yeah, you can say something.
So,
about Light
and you'll be proud of this, because I went to the farmer's market and they had a little setup. And we were like, why did they move Light City from the spring into the fall? So we went up and we were a little like, why did they do that? And the gal there said, it's going to be dark earlier. It's going to be a better show. It's a different time of the year. We wanted to get more families down at 5 o'clock when it's dark, as opposed to like it's getting dark at 9 o'clock this time of year. And I thought, man, they knew the answer. They knew. And he always says government is about competence, right?
That's it.
Like I ask the question, I get the answer, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, we'll be there, and we're going to be there. That's one of the great things in Baltimore as a downtown resident. Light City's a 10. It's
Come
an
to
11.
Light City, Artscape. We got to get the mayor out of here.
Give a crab
Don't
cake.
forget.
Hold it. Mayor wants to
Don't forget the book fair and the fireworks at 4th of July. They're going to have 4th of July. They're going to have fireworks down in Middle Branch Park as well as in the harbor. So, and AFRAM is coming up as well. So stay on the lookout for that. It's going to be some great acts that's coming. I can't tell you who they are right now because I don't have all the information in front of me. And
I'll tell them. Tell them when you leave.
Mayor Jack Young,
Okay,
keep cooking,
thank you.
keep baking, keep bringing on that cake.
Thank you.
You're doing a fabulous
So
job.
when he's
trying.
late, just tell him he was too Baltimore Positive and he was down in Lexington Market with us. Baltimore Positive signing off here. We are at Fadley's in Lexington Market. Back for more on WNST and Baltimore Positive. Stick with us.